Yeah, welcome to another episode of Dark Skies News and Information coming to you live from Los Angeles, California, from the Bay to LA. And we're just going to talk for a minute about natural selection. And what is it? And should we know more about this? Should we be concerned? Well, I think so. So we're going to talk about it for a minute. So light them if you got them. Make yourselves comfortable. You just found the number one podcast in the entire multiverse. Dark Skies News and Information. Coming to you live from Los Angeles, California. From the Bay to LA. What's up, San Jose? Alright, we'll be back in a few seconds. You know what we do. Oh man, how y'all doing today? I hope well. It's a crazy week already, but we proceed to give you what you need. Right here, Dark Skies News and Information, and it's one of the fastest growing podcasts in the entire multiverse. We're having fun as we try to dig deep into some of the questions that, well, make us better humans, better people. Make the world a better place to live. Not only for us, but for our kids. And our kids' kids. If we can see that far. I mean, looking beyond yourself gives you the ability to, look pretty far. I want this world to be, well, a hospitable place. Right? That's a statement that, a person would make if they seeing the world as a whole. I want it to be safer. I want the atmosphere to be cleaner air, cleaner water. I want it to be more supplies and food. I want the animals to be free to flourish and frolic. I want the birds to fly. All these things, are, well wishes. But in the reality, that we live in, it's quite different. I mean, we look at things from, a human perspective because we are humans. But we also live on a planet with, creatures, animals. And then, you got these realms, right? The spirit realm and all these dimensions and, shadow dimensions and shadow people and jinn and all these things, to make it otherwise, like normal life, a lot more complicated. Oh man, I just thought I was alive and I died. Worked a little bit. Hopefully could have a kid and a family. Place for them to be. Food for them to eat. Okay, now you're starting to ask for a lot. Thought you just wanted to be alive. But at the same time, humans don't know what to want because what to want is constantly changing. What you need is constantly changing. But one thing that never changes is nature. And nature's effect, not just on us, but animals and everything that we know to, predict a healthy future, involves nature in the equation. I'm going to come up, with the perfect equation that is going to predict the future life of a human. Well, you're going to have to add in that equation nature and its effects. Because you don't know what the future is going to be like if you leave this out. Could be hotter, could be drier, could be water, could be more asteroidally. I don't know. It's just a word. More asteroids. We don't know because, it's like the unpredictability of life. And unpredictable, it's kind of like incredible because we're so smart now and we can come up with complex diagrams and charts and posters and different, ideas to say that the world is going to go this way if you take all these things into consideration. Intelligent thinking, critical thinking. We got people like that all around the world that do these things all the time. They look at the current state of the world. They look at the past and better to predict our future. And it's pretty accurate. Because most of them can be like, man, this is fucked up. And it's going to get worse. Why? Because it was fucked up in the past. It's fucked up now. Matter of fact, it's even more fucked up now than it was in the past. And that sets a precedent. Like what? Like it could get worse, but it could also get better. But we never show signs that it could get better. In order to add that to the equation, it has to have gotten better. For me to add that, as a possibility. So you telling me it ain't possible to get better? Well, yes, it is possible to get better. It's wishful, thoughts. Like I'm thinking wishfully that I wish for things to get better. But in all actuality, will things get better because of your wish? Well, probably not. But when you look at the laws of nature, one of its laws is a simple and plain theory that we had in the past that's no longer a theory, now it's a law. Because I remember, you used to, walk around and, it's the theories, the theories of everything. Well, one of the theories is the theory of natural selection, that nature naturally selects who it wants to live and who it wants to die in order to maintain a balance, a natural balance. So in other words, nature can naturally select your ass to not exist no more. Consider you in a way. Maybe a threat. Who knows how nature thinks? But we all know that it's a force. We even call it the force of nature. I tell people all the time that nature will fuck you up if you keep messing around. And people, they don't take it literally. Like, it ain't like nature's finna walk up and just fuck me up. Well, actually, probably won't walk up. Make your life miserable. Ever heard of fire, water, earth, wind? Maybe all those things combined, make you a bad day. Why not hit you with an earthquake that causes a tsunami, that causes an explosion, that causes a fire, that causes an explosion, that causes a force, that causes wind. I mean, all these things, can happen. It can happen naturally. I mean, the most powerful things like in man, that man created is like nuclear fusion and force and nuclear plants, nuclear weapons, facilities. Well, they don't hold up very well against, massive earthquakes and tsunamis. Let a wave hit those cores and have a meltdown. It's a weakness. It's a weakness that, nature know that man has. I mean, now, it's like you speak of nature like it's a life. Well, nature is life and death. I always call nature the great balancer. If nature, feels like it's time for, like a restart, just make it real cold. cause a flood. I mean, nature has to know that, people are on land. So you hit that land with a tsunami. I mean, I know you was thinking like, oh man, come on, the earth quakes. I mean, why? Is it because we're moving or something? I don't know. I mean, if you look at the amount of earthquakes and where the earthquakes are happening, I'm gonna have to show you out a map because it's, the USGS map. I'll probably do that in one of my upcoming podcasts so you can get a better visual of exactly what I'm saying when I say that nature acts actually more intelligent than mammals. And we are all at the mercy of nature. I mean, no human is walking around naked. Well, it probably is, but, this is not, dang, I came to that. I just was about to say that this is not a human's natural state to walk around naked, but I guess that is your natural state. But your natural state will leave you exposed, to elements that are hostile to your not only development, but your survival. If humans just walked around naked, I mean, we probably wouldn't have made it this far. We cover ourselves up to give ourselves protection against the ultraviolet rays of the sun, or maybe because it's raining, you put on a raincoat, or maybe because it's cold, you put on extra layers. When it's hot, you take the extra layers off. You adjust your clothing to your environment, to nature, I mean, it would be a big difference if you showed up with a coat on and it was freezing cold out there with snow and ice everywhere, and you took your coat off and it automatically warmed up because you dictated the temperature. And I don't want it to be warm. I'm going to take this off. And the sun came out and everything cleared up and it immediately got real hot. Now, I think I need a breeze. Yeah, a breeze start. Like, no, that's not how it works. Matter of fact, if I saw a motherfucker do that, like, we're in just a place where it's all snowed out. We've been snowed in for days. And, he just walk up and, like, man, I'm tired of this snow. And take his coat off and, strip down to his tank top. And then the sun come out and it get real, real hot. I don't know, man. I mean, the law of natural selection says that nature can naturally select you to no longer exist, as it's done so many times with so many different life forms and animals that have existed on the planet before that are documented. Matter of fact, it's safe to say that almost everything that have lived on this planet has been naturally selected to no longer live on this planet. I don't think there's no difference between us and anything else that's lived on this planet or will live on this planet. They'll all be at the mercy of the power of nature. Nature's force. The nature is probably the most powerful force, that man can comprehend. There's probably some stronger forces that, are universal that's out there that we are not a privy to because we're stuck here on Earth. Unaffected. Or maybe affected, but, too stupid to know. Not smart enough. But at the same time, though, what are we? We are completely confused. That's what we are. Because we don't understand that there is a force that is on this planet that protects this planet. That lives on this planet just like we do. And has the ability to control, things like lightning, hurricanes, hurricane force winds, tornadoes, F5, baby. It's so many different ways nature can naturally select your ass to not exist. But then you'll stand up there and talk shit like nature ain't nothing. Matter of fact, man don't even respect nature. We live on this planet and we be like, fuck nature. Give a fuck. Do what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make it warm. Like, how? Like global warming. I'm like, but nature can do that naturally. I mean, why would you, poke a bear that's not even in a cage? I mean, like he's drinking some water out the pond and you just walk up and start poking him with a stick? Like, what if you turn around and start Well, I don't know, man. People are retarded because they don't understand our effects on nature, and they definitely don't understand nature's effect on us. Now, many animals have been the same way. That's why we call them dumb animals. The animal don't know that it's making nature mad. I mean, and I hate to put like a human characteristic on nature, but nature gets mad. How many times have we seen forest fires, but we don't know how it started? And according to Smokey the Bear, not Smokey Bear, Smokey the Bear, it's humans that cause forest fires. And we know that that's not completely true. Humans do cause forest fires. We smoke cigarettes. We barbecue. We create fires to stay warm. It's cold as fuck out there. We're in the woods. We are in nature, and we, are not built for nature. We're not built for that. That's why we wear clothes and camping gear. We come with the tents. We bring home with us because we don't want to be out in nature, even though we want to be out in nature. I see motherfuckers go backpacking all the time. Like, where the fuck you going? You go up to the mountains and me and the wife and the kid, and you just stay for like a week. I'm like, wow. I'm like, man, that's stupid. And what if there's bears?
Sorry, that's racist.
How is that racist? You try to say that I'm trying to say that only one race goes up to the mountains? I'm pretty sure you'll see a high diversity group of people if you climb the Aspen, go to Aspen, or go to the Rockies. Go climb Mount Everest. How many brothers that made it up there? If a brother made it to the top of Mount Everest, I just like to say, quite impressive. But you don't find too many brothers in the snow.
Sorry, that's racist.
Brothers say hell no to the snow. Just how it is. I've been in cold areas. I've been up north, like in Michigan. I've been in Illinois. Illinois get really cold. They call it the Windy City when you're in Chicago. And they're not lying. It's quite windy. You walk outside, your hat fly right off your head. Shit be blowing all in your eyes, and get some shades or some glasses. But I love Chicago, It's a beautiful place. It has a beautiful history and a beautiful future. And like I said, filled with beautiful people. But it is crazy cold. It's snow. It's completely different when you can walk outside and there's ice on the ground. Nature has selected it to polar vortex. Like, wait, that's not even snow. That's like a new type of, I guess, ice storm. That don't even sound right. Just like things like atmospheric river. It's almost like, nature got new powers, like it's evolved. Found new ways of getting rid of us. Because humans are like an infestation on Earth. You could think that, we're so good for the Earth. The climate is so beautiful because of earthlings. Like, no, actually, if the dinosaurs was causing problems in nature, just get tired of it. Now, you're saying nature hurled a rock at the planet that killed the dinosaurs? I'm saying that nature helped. Many times nature has the power to disintegrate many rocks that fly through the atmosphere. We see it all the time, even big ones. But I guess, if you've been annoying and you've been bothering nature with your activities, or maybe taking up too much space, or maybe your shit is creating too much methane, or I don't know. What makes nature mad? I don't even know what makes nature happy. Because animals catch, natural selection moments as well. You could be a deer in the forest just burning up, and, it's just natural selection. The forest just be fires and just burning stuff up. The fuck? Like, dude, animals, some, and I would say now animals have evolved because they know nature be tripping. I don't know about in the past, but it seems like animals do now. Like, you smell smoke is fire, so they get on. And some animals, they say, can sense like a quake, and they'll get on. Like the birds and all that shit, they'll leave. You'll be in an area, you better look and see if there's any birds around, and if there's no birds, then, maybe, you're in an area where, animals don't want to be. If you're in an area where animals don't want to be, then that place may have been naturally selected. And since they nature creatures now, and they respect nature, and nature respect them, nature let them go before, it does its thing. I guess they get like some type of mental alert. Like we get our cell phones, like animals get like, a part in their brain where nature's like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck that area up, y'all. Better go on and get on up out of there. You got 3 minutes. Whenever animals have any concept of time, they do get on, and they get on before the fire actually get on them and burn them. So maybe you're running from the heat, or maybe you just run from the event. It seems like animals run from the event. Humans are dumb now. An earthquake would hit, and they still really wouldn't, know. Like the ground shaking, and stuff is falling. It's poltergeist? It's a fucking earthquake, man. Like, everything's not a poltergeist. The shit starts shaking. Like, this whole fucking room is shaking. It's fucking poltergeist. No, dude. That's why I know, we're not ready for, what nature could do. And it's why piss it off? Because nature could fuck us up at any moment. I mean, people be on the beach and shit, and I like the beach is beautiful. It's one of my most favorite places to be on the earth, but it's also, the most dangerous place, because, if nature get mad, it's one of the first places it's going to, hit. If nature ever wake up and say, fuck humans, I think 90% of the humanity stay on, the coastline of all countries or whatever, some shit like that. It's weird, but, just some type of crustal displacement or some type of, huge event where it causes a worldwide tsunami could, really reduce the population. I mean, I hope that's not a plan, because that would be wrong, right? Who would do that? Create an event, and that event, where would it be? In the oceans, right? Something in the oceans that could cause a tsunami large enough to, affect everywhere. Because those things just go everywhere, don't they? They spread. It's the force of nature, I'm telling you. The force of nature controls that water, which we call an ocean or oceans. It controls the air up ahead, above our heads. Force of the winds. Just controls so much for us to be so, disregarded and not appreciative or not even learneth. Like you looking at me crazy, learneth? Yeah, we have to become more learned on subjects like nature and natural selection and its ability to naturally select our end. Because I believe humans are smart enough to overcome all extinction over events, and I think we can prevent our own extinction if we only apply ourselves. And we have the ability to send a rover to Mars, can't send us or send some people. If you so into terraforming Earth, why don't you go terraform other planets? How come we're not out of the solar system yet? This sun is only one star, and it's not going to be here forever. And we're just going to wait, and then when it's gone, we're gone? Or maybe we could be naturally selected to be gone. Maybe another rocket hit the planet and do us like the dinosaurs. I believe we're far worse. I mean, with technology and nature, they usually don't go together. And humans and, nature don't go together either. Have you noticed all the paved roads and the sidewalks and the buildings and the houses and apartments where humans have to live? Well, that's replacing nature. So wherever we live, we replace nature. I mean, we don't want it to be trees. We don't have trees like in California like we used to. I mean, they done trimmed them down. You can't find no shade. You know, we have bushes and butterflies and bugs. You know, it's just like a desert with nothing. We don't have like birds. We have like the random group of birds, you know, like to fly past to show you like, hey, we're birds. We still exist. But it's not natural. You don't look around and like just see birds in their natural state. Kind of look like it's barely hanging on. Like we're on the verge of not having birds. I mean, I don't know if y'all been looking at like the extinction list, but I think it's like growing. I think, you know, we're losing more fish. I mean, the oceans, I don't know if it's that they overfished or that it's something happening down there in the ocean. It's, you know, comical for us to believe that, you know, what we're doing here on Earth is sustainable. That'll be our own doom and our own cause of our own extinction, you know, our belief that, you know, it's okay, man. We're doing good as humans. I mean, our advancements is just fine. And you go outside and you see somebody punching another person, or somebody getting robbed, or somebody getting drugged, or raped, or killed, or just things that you would think that an intelligent species would have overcome by now. You know, still caught up in political and religious dogma. But we still approach, you know, extinction like something that's ready to be extinct, instead of something that needs to preserve itself at all costs. Everything we should be doing as a species should be towards advancement. You know, being better. You know, because that's what it's going to take in order to, like, survive. Now, throughout history, I've looked at major events. And I would like to say that, you know, we have failed. Every time it's been a call to action, you know, with humans and something massive that, you know, nature decides to throw at us. You know, things like Katrina or the levees breaking. You know, you build a city that's, you know, under the sea line, which means it's actually underwater and it's a city, but it's on land. But if the water ever got to it, then it would flood. I'm talking about New Orleans. And we did a horrible time and a horrible job of not just preparation, but going in and rescue efforts, search and rescue. You know, when you think about human lives, you be like, oh, okay, they gonna make it, they in the Superdome. Like, the fuck? You don't go in there and get them people. And you see people on their roofs with signs like, help, motherfucker. Well, it didn't say that, but that's what it should have said. I mean, but we have failed. We have failed in every situation, every massive earthquake. We failed to prepare. We failed to prepare for tornadoes, even though we have a part in America called Tornado Alley. But it also used to be called the Great Plains of America. It's the place where it's most flat. You know, allow these tornadoes to be, you know, more active and more larger. As F3 to F5s are quite possible. But, you know, naturally selected, right? You know, that don't happen all the time. We ain't had that since. No, what? Like, in the great preparation for survival, you should always prepare for the unpreparable. You know, prepare for the shit that, you know, would wipe you out, would just be super costly. You know, like a solar event. You know, coronal mass ejection. You know, facing the earth. Boom, technology gone. Now what? You know, would you be able to survive without your iPhone? Well, why don't you learn how? Why don't you find out ways to make it, you know, if the lights go out? What if the fighting gets worse? You know, what if you had to pick up and leave in order to be safe? You know, are you capable of doing any of these things? Do you even plan? What if you're separated and an event happens? Do y'all know where to meet? You know, all these things, you know, should be taken into consideration because nature could affect you at any moment. You know, we live on a planet that has volcanoes. underwater and on the surface. You know, we have water, huge amounts of it. You know, we cannot breathe under it. You know, we have violent storms. And like I said, atmospheric rivers. Sounds new to me, but also sounds quite deadly. A polar vortex sounds worse than a blizzard. So when you start thinking of like some of the new tools that nature has at its disposal to naturally select you to end, then you should be coming up with new methods and new scenarios where we're going to be able to survive these events that are actually inevitable because they have happened in the past. I mean, we're not talking about something that's never happened. We're talking about stuff that's actually happened that can happen again. So, I don't know, we should have to be a lot more smarter in our approach. But that's being human, you know, making things better, making our lives better, making the world better in order to, you know, live longer. So, let's do it, y'all. Nature is a very, very powerful force, and if respected, I mean, we could live and coexist in it, but at the same time, we also need to expand our thoughts, our horizon, our way of thinking. Critical thinking. Let's critically think about the inevitable. So, we'll be talking to y'all real soon. I'm your host, L.C. Grace. I am Mikey Dax, Jim, Jennifer, Jeff, and Becky. All in the house, chilling. So, thanks for joining us. We'll be back real soon.